Altitude was the word which dominated the build-up to Mexico 1970. The capital itself was over 7,000 feet above sea level. Heat was another concern for the holders. Some of the kick-offs would be at high noon. And before a ball was kicked, England were involved in controversy in Bogota. A trumped-up charge of the theft of a gold bracelet meant that their captain, Bobby Moore, was held captive in Colombia for 5 days. Violence on the field was another problem. Would men like Pelé be allowed to play? The omens were not promising. But when Mañana arrived, the Mexicans had good reason to celebrate. Their team reached the last 8. Their tournament was a huge success. Skill thrived, with Pelé himself almost defying description.
Oh, he saw the goalkeeper off the line! Sasao. Pelé is racing in his feet, and he's going to get a fourth! Oh, what genius! Oh, yes, Pelé!
England weren't helped by their manager's insensitivity to Latin temperament, but Sir Alf had a better team than in '66. Their group match with Brazil in Guadalajara was a classic.
That's dangerous. Jardino. Already left Cooper standing. Pelé! What a save! Good back! Paulo César. Costao. And Moore beaten for one, but back again. Pelé! Jardino! England stretch. Jardino. Costao in the middle. Good tackle by Moore. The perfect timing. Cooper for England. 25 minutes to go. Brazil 1, England 0. Again looking for Astle and Hurst.
Astle's miss denied England the draw they deserved, but it could be argued that the match had been between the best 2 teams in the tournament. Respect among great players was obvious. But defeat meant that England had to go to Leon for a repeat of the '66 final against West Germany, a match which, unbelievably, England lost from a winning position.
That's a good ball to Newton. Worth a shot. Pelé! Halfway through the second half, 2-0 to England. This Francis Lee no good. And Beckenbauer. Got a shooting chance. Good goal.
A goal which Beckenbauer said gave Germany hope where there was none. In hindsight, Ramsey's substitution of Bobby Charlton gave them still more.
It's a fair old scramble. Snellinger. England really now under terrible pressure. Stay there. A goal. Grabowski. And West Germany driving forward. The good ball. Muller!
For Germany, a revenge for '66. For England, a bitter defeat and one to be long debated. The immediate post-mortem blamed Peter Bonetti, the replacement in goal for Gordon Banks, who'd been taken ill on the morning of the match.
Well, I don't think anything I'm going to say is going to alter the result or anyone's views on it. It happened. It was, I would say, it's the worst moment in my career. Unfortunately, it was the most important game as far as England were concerned, and I was blamed because I did have a bad game. There's no doubt about it. But without doubt, I was at fault with the first goal. I mean, I was slow in going down. People blame me for the other 2. Well, the second one I still maintain was a freak even now. And the third one, well, I just feel probably bad covering, whatever.
Germany now travelled to the capital, where spectators in the Aztec Stadium at last had a match to talk about. Germany's opponents in the semi-final were Italy, who led until the 89th minute when Schnellinger equalised. Extra time brought excitement almost beyond endurance, a fascination born of fatigue.
Nearly 5 minutes of the first half of extra time gone. Zähler. On the mix-up, Ruller. It's there! Rivera with the kick. Bognic, 2-2.
Beckenbauer had dislocated his shoulder, but played on.
Domengini. Arriva. 3-2. Labuda. Taylor again. Fuller. Pachetti. Rather, Bonsigna. Yes! Rivera!
The final dawned to rain and grey skies, but inside the Aztec Stadium, all was colour and carnival as Brazil met Italy.
Row 2. Brazil and both these teams sparring for an opening. It's all very canny stuff. Rivellino, and it's Pelé, he's got it! Pelé has scored, and that is Brazil's 100th goal in the World Cup.
How fitting Pelé should have scored it, but this was to be Gerson's match, after Brazil's fallibility in defence gave wing to their attack.
And that's a bad mistake, and it's Bonsigna. And Arriva, Bonsigna has scored a dreadful mistake. Jairzinho. Yes. Great goal, a beauty. Tremendous goal by Gerson. Now it's Gerson. And there's Pelé to Jairzinho. He scored. And Jairzinho has set a new record. The first player ever to score in every World Cup match. Oh, this is great stuff. They seem to take it in turns to give an exhibition. Jairzinho, number 7. Pelé. Up comes Carlo Alberto on the right. And it's 4! Oh, that was sheer delightful football.
For every spectator who was close enough to mob Pelé and the Brazilian team, there were thousands more who rejoiced in the style of their success. But such moments of intimacy were soon to be shattered. The World Cup of '74 lived in fear. The Munich Olympics of '72 had taken more than its toll of Israeli dead. They had changed the climate in which major sports events would take place. The holders were now without Pelé. He and West Germany's Uwe Seeler were but onlookers of a contest for a new trophy. Brazil, with 3 victories, keeping the old one. For the first time, there were 2 German nations competing. As far as British football was concerned, Scotland had the stage to themselves. Jordan's goal against Czechoslovakia had brought them to their first finals for 16 years. The spotlight was on Billy Bremner and company, and sometimes the glare was to prove too strong. They began against the unknown, the Africans of Zaire. A big score was needed and Scotland started well.
Scotland trying to work a position. Jordan. Lorimer. 1-0.
But they could only score once more, and it was to cost them dear. A moral victory over Brazil brought only a point from a scoreless draw. So against Yugoslavia, Scotland had to win or risk elimination on goal difference.
As we approach the final minute, Hay, Bremner, Morgan, Jordan, Lorimer, Hutchinson, number 18. Good play. Lorimer, Jordan, 1-8.
The draw was not enough. Brazil, playing against Zaire, scored the 3 goals they needed. For Casadi, Zaire's goalkeeper, and Scotland, the vital third was a sick joke.
Rivellino, Garzino for a return. Nellino, Valdemiro, near post, there! Valdemiro for Brazil!
Who was the clown among goalkeepers now? Certainly not Tomaszewski, who'd been so prisoned when denying England at Wembley. Poland, in fact, made England feel better. The speedy Lato finished as top scorer. The brilliant Dana was one of the outstanding players of the tournament, and the Poles, who cruised past Italy in their group, were a match for anyone.
Kacperzak. Dana! Beauty! Oh, superb stuff!
Helmut Schön, the West German manager, had his problems and his critics. There were some, including a few players, who thought that Franz Beckenbauer was in charge. To choose between Overath, the third survivor of '66, and the enigmatic Netzer was just one of the worries. Sepp Maier was one of the few to disguise the pressure on the favourites. The breaking point came in the historic first meeting of the two Germanys.
Lark making a forward run. So is Sparwasser, number 14. And he's in with a chance!
For East Germany, their 1-0 win was their pinnacle, but it put Schön and West Germany in the weaker second-round group, and from defeat, he built a winning side. He settled the arguments and found the missing link in midfield, Rainer Bonhoff. The team with all the appeal were the Dutch. There was even time for the players to relax with their wives. And in Johan Cruyff, they possessed the successor to Pelé. As the Dutch moved serenely towards the final, no one could contain him.
Van Hanegem. Cruyff onside. He must surely, and does. Sevilla. Van Hanegem. Nicely chipped through. Rensenbrink. Rep surely. De Jong. Krul. Cruyff. Applause for Holland. And number 4. A little bit perhaps going through the motions in the second half, but liable to get another goal just when they feel like it. Like now. And the scorer is Rensenbrink.
Holland's last hurdle was a Brazilian team whose rugged defensive style was totally foreign to their heritage.
This is Neeskens. Cruyff, number 14. Ball was deflected, Neeskens! Krul. Forward is Rensenbrink, onside. On for Krul. Breaking in the middle of Cruyff. 2-0.
It remained only for Pereira to complete Brazil's fall from grace.
Oh, he took him high. That was callous, calculated,
expected, and he's gone.
A cloudburst which turned the pitch into a quagmire was to play a vital role in deciding the other finalist. Poland were robbed of their pace, and West Germany finally wore them down.
15 minutes remaining. Poland 0, West Germany 0, for a place in the World Cup final of 1974. Here's Bonhoff. Müller!
The final was an examination of character. Cruyff led the more gifted team, Beckenbauer the stronger-willed. As for the English referee, Jack Taylor, his first test would come before the Germans had touched the ball.
Cruyff has come very deep indeed. He's the last player on the Dutch side. 30 folks with him. He may be the man to mark it. Right through and brought down. Penalty in the first minute of the World Cup, and rightly so. Jack Taylor 10 yards from the scene. No hesitation. Saved it. 1-0. The goal scored after 80 seconds. Holstenbein. Congested area there, right through. Penalty. All right. 1-1. Ernest for West Germany. Grabowski. On the forward run, Bonhoff came from inside his own half. Fuller, and again, 2-1.
Through overconfidence, Holland had failed to match their opponent's endeavour, and Cruyff's talents went unfulfilled. In contrast, Beckenbauer's at last had their reward. In 1966, he'd been on the other side of the Wembley story. In Mexico, in 1970, injury had been the tale. Now the triumph was his, with a team whose early dissension had been turned to strength by Beckenbauer's partnership with the wily Helmut Schön, Beckenbauer's mentor in the art of management.
It's part 5 of the history of the World Cup. Jerry